Hello viewers, Super GT here. Welcome to Dragon Trail Seaside, which is the home of the Chicane of Death, obviously. If you don't know that, you haven't been around long enough. But LMP1 cars at the Chicane of Death, this can only end one way, and that is with death, obviously. Righty then, 19th out of 20 on the grid. So as you can see, in typical fashion, bottled qualifying. As to be honest, I just jumped into this race as I couldn't really be bothered to run some practice. So let's see what we can do then. LMP1 cars, Dragon Trail Seaside. It's going to be a mess, and therefore my main strategy really is to be nice and cautious. Yeah, that's right, play it cautious, because you can see there already we have our first victim of the Chicane of Death, dying of death instantly, lap 1, and we've gained a position. And around this kind of track, these kind of cars, it's going to get messy, and if you can avoid the mess, then you've done well, and you'll no doubt gain positions. So let's see if we can do that. I'm driving the Porsche 919, so there's a mix really of the 919 as the guys up ahead get all out of shape and somehow recover. The Portuguese guy there gets a penalty. They go down the centre of these two guys. The Portuguese guy there gets a 5-second penalty, although I think it was just an innocent come together. But he's going to have to serve his penalty just around this final turn, final chicane. But yes, I'm driving the Porsche 919. There's a mix between the 919 and the R18 Audi. So you see a mix of those two cars. And something else you'll note that is quite new, well, is new to the game, is the boost function. So just next to the fuel, just underneath the fuel, bottom left of the screen, got the little green bar. So it kind of shows you how much of your energy you're using up. So it recovers when you slow down, when you brake, and then you use it up when you're coming out of the slower turns. So that's something to take note of, and you do have to manage that in qualifying just to really maximise your boost on your qualifying lap. And just looking ahead, just look how close this order is, as the Polish guy goes far to the left. I've just gained 3 positions in about 2 seconds there. In fact, I tried to commentate that, but I can't really even see what happened. I think there was a bit of a knock-on effect, and people died of death away from the chicane as it happens. But I've gained 7 positions at the start of this race already, up to 12th, and it looks like we might get another one here, not quite. The Audi just regathering his momentum to keep 11th there. Into the final chicane then, not really looking for the move, just going to try to tuck into the slipstream. We can see the comparative boost of the two cars as he almost loses control. I don't know how he quite kept that one. You can see here, look at the boost difference as we come down the main straight. Where is he? There he is. I'm just going into chase cam momentarily just to get a sighter of where he is. Braking on the end of the curb as we go into turn 1. This is actually a really fun track in LMP1 cars. I never thought I'd be saying this, but it actually goes quite well. You just really have to avoid death around here. Looking up the inside, might have gone for it, but probably best just to settle in behind and minimise the time loss and fight a little bit later. So you lose a lot of time by fighting too much in the wrong places. So here, into the chicane, probably best just settle in behind and minimise the time loss. So he goes a little bit wide there, loses momentum up into 11th. Okay, progress is being made. When's that bottle gonna happen, or when am I gonna die of death at the chicane? Who knows? I've just eaten a packet of discos. I'm recharged. I'm fresh. So hopefully that should see me through nicely to the end of the race. But you never know with Super GT. Okay, sitting 9 seconds off the lead at this point. Now of course, qualifying is so important, not just because it gives you a good position, but because with rolling starts, the grid's just so packed out. Sorry, not packed, it's the opposite of packed, it's spread out so quickly. So even if you're last at the very start of the race, you're already like 10 seconds behind the leader, and it's just almost impossible to catch 10 seconds against good players. So you really do need to qualify well, or hope for carnage, which has kind of happened so far. So as we come up towards the chicane, lap number 4 now. Let's see how we navigate this one. So a lift, you can do it flat on fresh medium tyres. I'm on medium tyres. You can do it flat, but I'm going for the more sort of safe and consistent approach, just to make sure I don't make a mistake, which I probably would do if I went flat out through there. 13 laps, remember. 13 times you have to navigate that chicane. Look at the boost difference here. Look at the speed. Easily surpassing the Audi there. Up the inside into the top 10 on the 4th lap. The car gripping so nicely through the triple chicane there. And he's actually going to look for the move into the hairpin. He's not going to go for it. So we stay 10th for now. So you do have to kind of be wary about the varying speeds of different cars at different points of the track because of the boost differences and just, of course, the general differences between the cars. Through the final chicane, over the penalty zone. We don't have a penalty. We haven't got a penalty yet. That's good news. And just trying to break that slipstream with the guy behind. He is tucked in, so he will be gaining slightly as we cross the line to begin lap number 5. In terms of the strategy, we're on the medium tyre, and I tuned into a Key 25 live stream and gave a bit of advice to say go for the no stop. So we're looking to do no stops here, no tyre changes. We're going to go straight to the end, and by the end, of course, we will have tyres which have pretty much died of death and have no grip left. So death is a common theme around Dragon Trail, it seems. The chicane, and now the tyres, which will be dying of death by the end. Coming up to the chicane then. Big gap ahead, 2.1 seconds to the German and the Pole who are fighting. I don't know where I heard that before. Coming up through, over the crest, and then looking for the curve on the right hand side, just braking just before that. And it sets you in nicely, although not this time. Go a little bit wide, and that kind of gives you that indication when you go a little bit wide like that. You're hitting your normal braking point, but then you go wide. Okay, the tyres are wearing out. You need to drive a little bit differently now. And again, wide there. So by this point of the race, the tyre's beginning to lose the grip. As we look behind there, 1.2 seconds ahead of the Polish driver behind someone into the pit lane. So we are going to gain a position here as we go up into... No, we didn't gain a position. I'm pretty sure I saw someone go in there. I don't know what happened. Or actually, no, I think what it was, someone at the top of the leaderboard just dropped down. I think it was Dilster who was in the lead, who now isn't in the top 3. So some sort of mistake for him at some point just then. So 6 seconds behind the lead. I've actually gained on the leader overall. So we were about 9 seconds behind at one point. Now about 7. So this is going rather well. There's a couple of penalties. Okay, there we go then. Dilster, he was the race leader. He's going to be kicking himself as he drops right down the order. He was in the lead at the beginning of the lap, and now down to 11th. Wow, lost 10 positions on one lap. Presumably just one mistake. Hit the wall. You know how the penalty system is in this game. You hit the wall, you get your 5-second penalty, even though you lost time by hitting the wall. And well, your day's ruined, your race is ruined, your day's ruined, your marriage is ruined, your life's ruined. Yeah, it just is a downward spiral. You get one penalty, and your whole life just goes downhill. Okay, crossing the line there, or crossing the penalty line. No penalty for me. As we then come towards. Oh, okay, someone pitting there. The Polish guy pitting. I just realised there's 2 penalty zones on this track. One coming out of the final chicane, and one coming out of the second hairpin. So that's something a little bit different. And we're actually coming up to lap someone here. Schoss 97. Okay, so he's completely bottled it as we come up into the chicane then. 7th time. Taking it nicely. We still haven't taken that in a bad way. Things are going well. Things are going well. In 8th place, we've got a Polish driver right on our tail. And as true to our race strategy, we're not going to fight too much because there is still a big group behind. If you start fighting too much now, there's a good chance they'll all catch up. So the Polish driver is right on my tail, less than 2 steps behind. So if he does go for a move, I'm not going to fight him. Not at this stage of the race. So I still think there are positions to be gained up ahead because there is a big group up ahead of about 3 or 4 cars Yeah, 4 cars, so there is potential to gain on that group and maybe nick 1 or 2 positions from them. So the Polish driver still just on my tail, quarter of a second behind. Just make sure that I don't get kind of phased by that. Just hit my normal braking points and just trust that he won't drive into the back of me, and he doesn't. Crossing the line there he is. Also in the Porsche 919, he's going to go to the right hand side, as you can see by the radar, bottom right of the screen. And he's just going to edge ahead. I'm going to back out slightly, just let him go. There's no point in fighting this one. We can catch up together. I can kind of sit in his slipstream. If he's quicker at this point of the race, well, I'll gladly tuck in behind, grab your slipstream, and we can catch up together. We do have Dilster just behind, the race leader for the first half of the race. So that's something to be wary of. So he may well be doing the same as this Polish driver coming through and trying to catch up quicker than I am. So happy with the position so far. Started 19th, gained 10 up to 9th, and as we can see here, pretty sure a couple of guys there slow in that group up ahead, and that group is actually split now. It was a group of 4, and now it looks like 2 groups of 2. And the Polish driver there in 7th, looking slow, in seat over the grass, doesn't quite spin out though. As we go over the crest, down the hill, into the braking zone, and again a little bit too wide, so needing to brake a little bit early and losing traction on the exit. You don't normally get that in LMP1 cars. These cars are almost always just absolutely planted to the road, but now that we've got a huge chunk of tyre wear, things are a little bit more difficult out of the slow turns. You see the front right tyre, the death process has begun for him, so RIP in pieces, mate. In loads of rubber pieces. Okay, coming down towards turn 1, into the apex, kind of, somewhat into the apex. There's potential still for some positions to be gained here. Dilster, I've kept him at bay, 1.5 seconds behind. That's good news. What's the race leader? Pole sitter as well. Oh, Recon Knight. He's just completely bailed out. He just disappeared. And Zimmy slow. Oh my god, through the gap. There was about 2 pixels left either side of me there, as I go flying through the tiniest of gaps up into 7th, and I think he just held up Dilster slightly. Okay, wow, this is going well. What's actually happening? Probably it's not actually me driving, someone else. That's probably why. That's not actually true, but just go along with it. Okay, coming over the hill for lap number 9, the 9th time. So we've got 4 more times to go around the track after this one. 13 take away 9 equals 4. There's your maths lesson of the day. Go and tell your maths teacher how good you are now that you can do 13 take away 9. Okay, final chicane, clipping nicely. So driving really just solid, consistent, not any mistakes. That is very rare for me. I don't know what's going on. You might have noticed I'm using an Xbox livery as well, just for maximum trolling possibilities. And it actually is probably helping me, because I think everyone's just so trolled by it. They're so annoyed that I use an Xbox livery on a PlayStation game. But they just can't stand it, and they were just dying at the chicane. Okay, we caught up slightly with Inniss on this lap. He is up behind someone who's now got a penalty. 2 people going wide. 2 people. I'm up into 5th. Jesus. I mean, at the start of the race, I kind of thought, you know, we could gain some positions here because people were going to make mistakes. But I didn't think it would be this many. We've gained 14 positions. And looking behind briefly, they're all holding each other up. And I'm now 3.2 seconds ahead of Surfonseca, who started in 20th. So the drivers who started 19th and 20th, basically the Williams drivers, we could basically call it Kubica and Russell. We've found our way all the way up to 5th and 6th, well inside the points. And I don't really understand the amount of mistakes being made. Is just too damn high, it must be said. Okay, rounding out the final chicane. We're going to skip ahead a lap here because lap 11 was kind of a repeat and not really much happening. You see the gap there at 1.2. By this point, lap 12 coming into the chicane. Okay, still going through there just fine. The gap 0.9. I'm actually gaining on Inniss. 4th place is on, but at the same time, Sir Fonseca, Portuguese driver behind, is gaining at the same time on me, so we could gain, we could lose, or we could stay the same. That's all the three possibilities here. Yeah, just really highlighting the extreme possibilities of everything that could possibly happen. As we actually gain through that chicane on Inniss, gap down to 0.7 or less than. And in fact, Eraser in third is not too far ahead. He's driving the R18. And I'm pretty sure that everyone in the top 7 at this point, except for Eraser, is in the 919. It looked like the Audi was a quicker qualifying car, but the 919 seems to be the better race car. A little bit deep there. Come back for a later apex. Almost. Okay then. We're building up to one more lap. We've got 2 people right in our town now. Sir Fonseca and the German of Zimmy. So I'm gonna have to go defensive now. It's only 1 lap left. I might as well fight for it. Down into turn 1 on the inside, taking the apex somewhat, and he's just gone right around the outside, clean around the outside. And I think there was contact with the German. I can't really gather exactly what happened there. I was too focused on the Portuguese guy who's gone through. So I'm down in 6th, obviously, as we have about 3/4 of a lap remaining. So it's a really interesting race, really interesting dynamic here. As some people seem to really be on the back foot on the last lap, and I think I'm one of them, as my tyre's really not in good shape at all. So some people really managing the tyres a lot better. Schoss getting lapped for the 2nd time, and coming over the crest into the triple chicane, flying in here. Through these high speed corners, the car's absolutely fine. It's through the slow ones where you really feel the lack of grip, the lack of tyres. And in Seek slow, off the turn. Is he going to get past? Sir Fonseca looking for it maybe, and not quite able to go for the pass. So we're all kind of really down on our tyre grip at the moment, as I'm just holding off Zimmy, as I really did not get a good exit. Sir Fonseca looking for the move into the chicane. I think there was a hint of contact, but he just stays behind in 5th. Now this is the important part, because I've got a little bit of boost, use it, but it's going to be a close drag race to the end, as I have been beaten to the line before around this track. So coming up to the line, is he going to overtake me on the line? Not quite. I keep 6th place. There we go. Wow, what a race that was. That was a really good race. I'm pleased with how I drove, to be honest. And there it was, yeah, Razor, the only person in the Audi in the top 10. So he did well to hang on there. He was hanging on for dear life. He did well. Gained 13 positions, the fastest driver in the United Kingdom. Remember where you were when SuperD's here was the fastest driver in the United Kingdom, and make sure you tell your grandchildren about that one. There we go. Good result. 1900 points. Decent enough for me, I suppose. Ideally want to get over 2000, but I'll take a 1900. But that is all from me. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed the video. As always, I shall see you in the next one. Let me know your thoughts, and if you're new to the channel, maybe consider subscribing. That's it from me. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.